There are many mysteries left still to unravel since the release of Pikmin 4. While we've attempted to tackle a few of them so far, while researching a specific aspect of this game, I had the sudden realization that a conspiracy theory from the real world had been incorporated into Pikmin 4's storytelling. Hello everybody, you're watching Variety Television and welcome to another Pikmin 4 theory. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that a live Pikmin theory discussion will be happening soon on this channel. Still no dates, but it's still in the works. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. Before I go into the conspiracy theory, let me just go ahead and say I'm not saying this is true, I'm saying it's a conspiracy theory from the real world that has been implemented into Pikmin, not necessarily that I believe the conspiracy theory from the real world. I feel like that needs to be clarified for some reason, so now let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just tell you about the conspiracy theory exactly as it is, and then tell you how it's incorporated into Pikmin 4's story. The theory in reference is known as the Mars Reset Theory, and just saying that doesn't tell you much, so here's the general idea. There's a lot of different angles people try to tackle this one online, but there are some commonalities between every version. Basically, the theory is that millions of years ago, the human species actually started out as a Martian species. These humans became very advanced in technology, but groups of these humans showed hostility towards other groups, and eventually, it all led to a large-scale nuclear war, which pretty much destroyed the planet. This war would obviously have obliterated everything on Mars, but a group of humans were able to escape to Earth, along with certain animals and plants they brought with them, and use this to start a new life. These humans wanted to live their lives going forward with peace, so to make sure nobody returned to their old world or used technology for evil, their escape ship was destroyed and the history was altered in hopes that they wouldn't go down the same path. According to the theory, this is what led to the Earth humans we know today. Obviously, this all sounds pretty crazy, and I doubt there's any sort of real evidence to back this up, especially since the plan didn't really work and nuclear weapons are kind of everywhere. However, when we consider the story of Pikmin, as well as a very specific character's family history, we start to see some crazy connections here. For starters, let's talk about what we know about the Pikmin story so far. Actually, not much is known about the humans at this point, but we do know that there is a massive amount of radiation present on PNF 404. We know this because both in Pikmin and Pikmin 4 we actually get to see a Geiger counter in action. This Geiger counter is a part of Olimar's ship, the Dolphin, and these things are actually pretty interesting. They detect radiation one atom at a time. Well, sort of. Geiger counters have a gas-filled tube within them, and when in the presence of radiation, the radiation enters the tube. The gas in the tube is any inert gas, by the way, so things like neon or helium would already be inside. The radiation reacts with the gas inside the tube and begins ionizing the atoms of the gas. Every time an atom breaks down, it creates an electric pulse that is detected by the counter, and it's displayed by the counter's needle and an audible click. Every individual click is a single atom breaking down, so the more clicks you hear, the more radiation there is in the area. Similarly, the higher the needle, the more radiation in the area. We see Olimar's counter going absolutely crazy in both Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 4, and this clearly denotes an extremely high presence of radiation, which is commonly accepted within the Pikmin community these days. As for the other parts of the theory, we have to look no further than the Shepard family history. If you're unfamiliar with it, let me just read it to you as it is, then I'll insert the part of the real-world conspiracy theory that aligns with it. Starting with entry number 9. The surface. We made it at last. Finally, we can begin making a fresh start here on this planet. Of course, it will take many long months before what we've built here will look anything like we once had. But we won't be alone. Our beloved dogs will be by our side as we walk this long, difficult road. Aural Shepard, first captain. To me, this sounds a lot like the part of the theory where the surviving humans leave Mars with some of their animals and plants in an effort to start a new life on Earth. Moving on to entry number 8. Many years have passed since we first began to make this land our new home. Still, we need more time to complete our environmental adaptations. In the meantime, we must survive so that one day we can pass down this new history to our children, and pass down all the ways we've learned to rescue and protect everyone. One day we will live in peace. Mark Shepard, 2nd Captain. In my opinion, this perfectly mirrors the aspect of the Mars theory that the humans changed their history to avoid future conflict and attempt to remain peaceful. Entry number 7. Beyond the sky itself there lies a beautiful blue planet. Those words have been passed down from captain to captain, calling to each of us. I can't imagine what sort of place this blue planet might be, but it's said to be home to even more dogs and folks than we have here. One day I hope to fly beyond the sky and into space. Mark Shepard, 7th Captain. Okay, so if we're relating this to the Mars theory, it seems to indicate a few things. Firstly, knowledge of PNF 404 seems to have been passed down since the arrival in this new world, rumors of their old life. However, we also know that the captain that wrote this entry is unaware fully of space travel, despite seemingly originating from another planet. To me, it's pretty clear that the rewriting of history is starting to take effect, as people have forgotten their old home, only remaining as a story that's passed down. The ship they arrived in also seems to have been destroyed, as space travel is unknown at this point in time, and the technology intentionally forgotten. Next, I'd like to skip ahead to entry number 4. The reason for this is because entry number 6, number 5, and number 4 are all exclusively about dogs. So, entry number 4. We will soon welcome new rescue officers. That is, we've officially decided to add rescue pups to the team. We may not be able to exchange words with our canine partners, but we can build a trust and understanding through careful training. I'm certain the history books will remember their acute sense of smell as revolutionizing our rescue work. Red Shepard, 36th Captain. To me, this is furthering the idea of a reset, showing almost all of the history has been wiped away, and this rescue operation is now the sole focus of everything. Gone are the days of the blue planet or building up environmental adaptations. The Shepards and the others are home now as far as they're concerned, and the history books being written in this age are about the rescue corps, not whatever conflict happened before. Entry number 3. In space too, there are those waiting to be rescued. My father told me this. It was his dream to travel to the stars and rescue those lost there. Though he passed down this dream to me, I have not been able to make it come true. Hear me, my children and my children's children. Make this dream a reality. We can transcend space and time, I'm sure of it. Ponto Shepard, 51st Captain. This entry, in my opinion, shows that space travel is somewhat of an innate quality in these people by now. Despite the technology being missing or seemingly having not been reinvented yet, there is an idea buried in the minds of some of these captains that there are people out there. I think this is a remnant of their history. Somewhere deep down inside, these people have a memory of a distant blue planet, their home. The next entry is the last one I'll read because it's the last one that I think directly pertains to this theory. It's entry number 2. We've done it at last. We've flown to space. Out in this great limitless expanse, not a sound can be heard, and yet I can still clearly hear the pounding of my own heartbeat. Space, how it overflows with possibilities. There can be no doubt. This is one giant leap forward for our kind. Ed Shepard, 65th Captain. It seems that the reset aspect of the theory is nearly complete, as the people once again discover new technologies and become a spacefaring species. The only memory remaining of their past lives are 2 things. First, the rescue pups have been with the Shepards from the beginning, and second, the rescue pups originated from a different planet. So, what's the next part of the reset, you ask? Well, it's eventually going home. In the real-world theory, everything happens all over again eventually, and the reset in reference is a loop of history repeating itself. We don't know if the Shepard history will repeat itself, but we do see they finally have reached the surface of their original home by Pikmin 4, as Irma Shepard, the 99th Captain, steps foot on PNF 404. Of course, it would take many years before this planet looked anything like they had before. Ah yes, this one was a lot of fun to do. Let me know what you think about these connections down below. Do you think the Pikmin team may have been inspired by this conspiracy theory from the real world? If so, maybe we'll see Gaians and others trying to colonize PNF 404. Actually, with people there cataloging all the plant and animal life, as well as a guy who literally plans to build houses there already, I think we might actually be seeing the start of that in Pikmin 4. Anyways, that's all the time I have for today's episode, so don't forget to make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned, Variety Television will be right back.